Shortly before 3 a.m. on Wednesday the 22nd of May 2024, police and other emergency services were called to a house fire in Gilderton Place in Holt. Once the fire was extinguished, unfortunately the body of a 36-year-old man was located deceased inside the premises. I can now divulge that the person identified in the house was the resident, a gentleman by the name of Bol Adol Deng. The fire was deemed suspicious at the time, and police and homicide detectives went to work trying to determine the cause and the motive for the fire. Over the last week, an extensive inquiries resulted in the search warrant of a residence in Turner on yesterday morning. As a result of that, a 38-year-old male was taken into custody, and after helping police with their inquiries, he was charged with arson and murder. Do you have any questions?
Is the man who's been charged a relation at all of the man who was murdered?
No, the gentleman charged is not related. However, I can say that he's a member of the Sudanese community here in Canberra as well.
What was the cause of death of the alleged victim?
The cause of death, as determined by the post-mortem, was asphyxiation or smoke inhalation from the fire.
So it's the fire that killed him?
That's correct. Police will allege that after a dispute between the men that had been ongoing over the past few weeks, the gentleman that's been charged went to the residence and set the fire deliberately.
Do you know what the dispute was about?
The investigation is still ongoing, and I'm not prepared to actually talk about what the dispute was about at this point.
How was the fire started?
Our inquiries revealed that the fire was started with the use of an accelerant, and that determined a lot of our inquiries over the week, trying to track down and prove that this is the cause of the fire.
You were able to say what the accelerant was?
We believe it was petrol. Unfortunately, due to the nature of fire, a lot of the evidence, physical evidence at the crime scenes are destroyed just due to the nature.
And how would you describe the level of damage to the house?
The house was extensively damaged and will never be lived in again. It was basically completely destroyed.
Do you know what the cause of the dispute was, or what actually happened? What was the interaction between the alleged victim and the alleged accused?
Yeah, so all we're prepared to say at this stage is there was a dispute between the men that we are still looking further into and conducting more inquiries as we put together the brief of evidence for the...
Do you think anybody else was involved?
No, we don't believe anyone else is involved.
And had the neighbours reported hearing anything in the lead up to this, or is there anything you've gleaned from the neighbourhood itself?
Certainly detectives conduct extensive inquiries with everyone, including CCTV canvassers and canvassers of all the neighbours in the area. There are some neighbours that did help police with our inquiries as to what they heard and saw on the night.
What was the relationship between the two men? Do you know when they initially first knew each other?
I don't know when they first knew each other. As I said, we do know they were known to each other. They weren't related, but are part of the same community.
I guess the point is, did they know each other before coming to Australia, or did they just know each other in Australia?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't have that information.
And will there be a court appearance this morning?
Yes, the gentleman charged will be in court this morning after being charged with arson and murder late yesterday afternoon.
Do you know the citizenship or the visa status of the accused?
I'm not aware of the visa status of the person that's accused, no.
Do you know how long the alleged victim had lived in the house? The neighbours last week were saying that it had been not always occupied.
I'm aware that the resident had been in that house for a number of years. I couldn't tell you exactly how long that is, but obviously our inquiries have revealed that he was away from Canberra for a couple of weeks leading up to this incident.
And there was also some talk that neighbours might have been trying to fight the fire with a community firefighting hose. Do you know anything about that?
All I know is that once police and fire brigade turned up to the scene, that the fire was extinguished pretty quickly and it burnt itself out pretty much as the house was destroyed.
Do you know how to spell the name of the victim?
The name of the victim, certainly. His surname, as I understand it, is Ador Deng, so A-D-O-R, and second word D-E-N-G. First name B-O-R.
Either of them known to police?
Certainly the victim was known to police.
And was there, I guess, extensive DNA matching done for police to, go and search Turner homes in that area?
DNA matching, as in.
Yeah, like how did you, I guess, identify that this was the man in relation to, how did you know?
Yeah, as I said, over the past week, the detectives in the homicide team have been working tirelessly, and through speaking to witnesses, CCTV canvassing, the inquiries led them to identify the suspect that's now in custody.
We've seen a few arson attacks in the north. Do you think that there's any, I guess, relation in between the recent amount we've seen?
Absolutely no relation at all. Canberra is still one of the safest places in Australia to live. This attack, again, would appear to be a dispute between the two gentlemen specifically and not related to any other incident.